So we are on, I guess, day one of what are going to be the training logs. I'm not too sure on what we're going to call this series. You'll probably see on the title. Now, this series is just going to be me vlogging my training. You'll probably see what I'm eating. And the aim of the game is to get jacked. This morning, we're just having protein oats, classic staple, blueberries, pumpkin seeds, and then we've got some hemp seed in there for the omegas, and then a black coffee. If you can hear any noise, that's just the washing machine, so just ignore that. But today we've got squat, bench, row on the agenda. Peace. Okay, so we are in the Celica. We're just waiting for it to warm up. Yeah, today's session, we got squat, we got bench, and we got rows as the main lifts. We got the top set, which is going to be 4 to 8 rep range, and then we've just got back off set, which is 6 to 10, but they're going to be paused. And we've been either adding reps each session or adding weight. Yeah, it's been pretty good. So we're going to see if that keeps continuing. Legs are pretty sore still from high rep squats. Saturday, I believe, or Friday. Quads are a bit sore. We got ABE pre, Candy Ice Blast. So we're going to get this downers and then we're going to get straight in. Yeah, I'll see you then. So here we are going into the top set for our squats. Now, as I said, this is a 4 to 8 rep range, meaning we shoot for the 8 and we make sure that we get above 4. Otherwise, we've kind of overshot the load. In true commercial gym style, we had a nice spectator that wanted to chat. I was already locked in for the set, so it might have seemed a bit rude, but he was not getting an answer until I had finished this set. It went overall pretty well considering the legs were sore, and I'm pretty happy with the reps we got.
You up? Sweatshirt. That, well, I said, all right.
Take me on a trip.
Is that what he said? Take me on a trip. Right.
And he means no harm, but you know, that's the price I have to pay for training at work. I should really find a separate gym so I can separate training and work. So this back off set, again, paused. We dropped the weight by about 15 to 20% off the top set, and it went really well. We got to the top end of our range, which is, I believe, 6 to 10 whilst I was filming this. And the back offs are really key for building that mind to muscle connection, adding a bit of volume in from that top set, being more strength focused, and it just gives you that practice with the lift that you're trying to get strong at. And I do think that going heavier on that first set and then doing this back off helps mentally, because the load doesn't quite feel as heavy because you've done that hard heavy set first, and it just makes the pauses go so much better for me. So I'm going to be sticking to this sort of rep scheme and progression for my sets as we go forward. Now, going into our next lift, we have barbell bench press. You know, I'm loving the basics, squat, bench, dead, all barbell. To be fair, I think they are time-tested lifts. They will always work for anyone that wants to get strong, build muscle, especially naturally. So don't shy on them, you know. There's a lot going on with the science-based lifting community, wanting to try a lot of experimental stuff. But for me, the basics work. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'm still making progress, albeit not fast. But then again, natural progress is never fast, apart from obviously your first sort of newbie gains. And of course, just like my squat, my back off sets, my top sets, been either adding reps each week and then weight every other week. And that's in a deficit as well. And I credit a lot of that down to just the frequency of which I'm doing these lifts at the minute. And that brings us on to our main pull of the day, which is a bent over barbell row. Now, I like doing these from a dead stop just for building explosivity and also the carryover that's going to bring into my deadlift, which again comes from the floor. Now, this is more of an upper back row. However, I do feel this quite a lot in my lats, especially when we come into the back off set where I add a slight pause at the top and try and slow down that negative a little bit. Now, I do try and stay more parallel to the floor as much as I can, but there's going to be a bit of body English, especially if the weight's getting up there a bit for your strength. I wouldn't worry about it too much because it's going to bring in a little bit of those erectors, which I'm not opposed to training, and having this pause in as well is going to add that isometric hold from the erector, which I think is just going to help build a strong, solid back. But with this session being at the beginning of my week, I do then have a rest day before doing any sort of deadlifting, which again is going to be quite heavy and taxing on those erectors. And that is our main compounds done and dusted. After that, we go straight into accessories, and the main accessory being triceps, this paused dip. Now, I'm doing them bodyweight at the minute. Obviously, once I get to the top end of my rep range, then I'll start doing these weighted, but I will keep that pause in. I really love the pause on the dips. It gets a nice deep stretch through the pecs, nice deep stretch on the triceps, and overall is just going to help build a massive physique. The pause also stops you from ego lifting, so it's really safe on the joints. And again, it's building explosiveness out of the hole from a dead stop, which that explosiveness is definitely going to carry over into our main compounds, such as our bench press. So if you want to build a solid natural physique, as well as be the strongest that you can be on all your key major lifts, then you need to try the pause dips. Now, the biceps. We all want big biceps as a guys, and some girls maybe. But yeah, the barbell bicep curl is what I've been rocking. Usually I would use the Olympic bar, but the gym was getting quite busy. I didn't want to assert absolute dominance curling in the squat rack, so we went with the fixed bars today. Now, I have experimented with going quite heavy on these, but these days I'm usually keeping these on the higher rep sides. The heaviest I'll go is probably a set of 8. I find any heavier than that, then I just find my elbows hating me, and we start getting niggles and pains, and that's not good. We want longevity in this natural games, and the natty game is just consistency over time. But it'll be interesting to definitely see how heavy we can get these within the rep range that I'm using. Last but not least, we have a seated hamstring curl just to isolate the hamstrings. Now, this set was hell. I was saying before at the beginning, my quads were sore, and with this movement you need to get yourself locked in, so I get that pad locked in as tight as I can. And to be honest, the pain that was going through my quads on each curl was just making it so I could not commit on this set fully. For this reason, I always recommend that you do any sort of hamstring curl. If it's a seated one like this where your quads are going to be getting crushed a little bit, always do it before your quad work, because chances are once you've done that quad work, you're just going to be smoked. But that is it for today's video. I had work after training, and the shifts that I work are very long, so my day was not very exciting following this workout. I hope you enjoyed this style of video. I will be carrying on with the training logs, so if you are interested in my journey of building muscle naturally on a plant-based diet, then make sure you subscribe, drop a like, and if you made it this far into the video, comment beanstalk in the comments, just so I know how many people made it to the end. So yeah, we did a little bit of a pose down so you can see the physique right now. I believe I I am 74 kilogram at the time of filming this. Height is 5'5", so that just gives you a few stats so you can see where we are at. So I've got high hopes for this year, hoping to build some muscle as always, build some strength. Let's see how it goes. Peace.